Sorry, please, I'm trying to handle this. Okay. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, yes.
All right. Confirm if you can see my screen. All right, so right now, I'm going to create something, a new file, so that we'll begin with what we are trying to do. So first thing I'm going to do is, this is a new Visual Studio Code platform as a code editor. There are other code editors you could use, such as Android Studio. So, but I'm using this. So I'm going to create a folder inside of my desktop, and creating a new folder, calling it masterclass. All right. So inside of this master's class, I'm going to so just give me a moment, please. All right, so let's begin. So this is the master's class folder. I just created a folder, and I'm going to be creating like something here, data structure. We're going to, all those things I showed you, the variables, about the variable, the functions, and how to write a variable, function, loops, and operators are called data structures. According to data structures, dots. Because we are using that language, I'm going to say that. And once I do that, this is there. So I have this now. So this is it. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is variable. This is called commenting. So this line of code is redundant. It's not going to be executed when I run whatever I'm going to be doing here, because it's commented. And if you want to comment, if you're on Windows, you use Control // and it's going to be commented, or you use double /. So what are variables? Already I've shown you here that variables in that store data and can be modified or accessed. So variables act as memory, they store data, and that is what I'm going to be showing you, the types of these variables. So let's start by showing you something. Void, this is how you do in that language. Void, and then you declare the function. All right, so to welcome you to programming class, let me do this. Print hello world. So everybody who comes into programming has to do this. Like, this is my first line of code. So I've done print hello world. So I'm going to run this now. Sorry. All right. So sorry, please give me a moment. Let me change my internet. Please, sorry for that short time, please. I just have to change my internet. I'm sorry for that, please. All right. So can we continue, please? All right. So here now, I'm going to have this program. And this program will be having the name of what I'm doing here, which is operator. That is data structure. That. So with that, I'm going to hit. So we are good to go. Now, you could see what I printed here is hello world. You can see that in my console here. Please confirm to me if you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, sir. Sorry for that break. All right, so this is hello world, and whatever I write here, master's class, and if I click on run, it shows here master's class. So that is the beginning of what we are trying to do here. So let's go over to variables. Variables in that. So we have different kind of variables, so many types of variables in that, and I'm going to be atomizing them for you. We have the strings, we have the ints, and we have bool, and let me just atomize them. We have strings, we have ints, we have doubles, we have bool or boolean, we have lists, and we have map. All right, so these are some of the types of strings we have. So as I told you, variables are used to store data. They're used to store data, and the syntax for variable goes like this. I'm going to be a little bit fast with this, and I'm sure you're going to understand it. You have the variable name. I'm going to comment this. You have the variable data type, and yeah, but variable data type, and then you first state the variable data type, and then you state the variable name, and then the value. So the variable data type, let's say for instance, we have variable data type string, and string is a name, just like a character. I'll say the name is Williams. So you see, this is the name. Now it's giving me this yellow sign because it's not in use. I've not been able to implement it. So a string is like a character, a word, an alphabet, like a sentence. When you want to make a sentence in deal with any sentence, word, or alphabet in that language, you use string as the variable type. And then you give it a variable name. The variable name must not be name. It can be anything. It could be school. It could be whatever you choose to attach this value to. So this is the variable name, and this is the value. This is equally known as the key. This variable name can be seen as the key, and this here will be seen as the value. So if I print name, what you're going to see is nothing else but let me see R. When we print, you see nothing else but Williams. So this is Williams here on the console because that is the name, Williams. So, and then the next one is ints. Ints are every real number on the real number line. Every real number on the real number line, like age, number. You could use number, or let's use age. Age equals 18, and you print age. When you print age and then you run, it gives you Williams 18. So the age is 18. You could see there. So you use this. Now, if I put .5 here, it's going to throw an error for me. Why is that so? Because 8.5 is actually not a whole number. Actually, an int is a whole number. Any whole number ranging from negative infinity to positive infinity and 0. it is an int. So, but the moment you begin to bring rational and irrational into it, it will throw an error once the variable type is an int. How do we handle something like this? You can handle something like this by saying double here, okay, can be for amount, for quantity, all those things that has to come with decimal. You could say 15 naira 44 kobo. 15 naira 44 kobo. So that is amount. And if we print this amount, so if we print this amount, sorry, if we print this amount, it's going to give us 15.44. So this is what we have here. And then the next one is in the list here. Next one in the list here is boo. You could say is store. Yes, if it's store, if it's yes, then you say true. So a Boolean can either be true or false. A Boolean can either be true or false. So we print a store. Now, if we print a store, it's going to return true for us. True. Now, if I change this to false, it's going to print false. This is variable. And the next thing again is list. And in list we can have a string in list, like list of fruits. If you are going to be giving list of fruits, then it must be a string, because if I write apple, it's going to throw an error for me because it's seeing this apple as a string. So I'm going to have to put that in a string, apple. Orange. Mangoes. So this is a list. Now, if I can have other lists, like say lists and maybe numbers. So now it recognizes what you are trying to do once you put them inside of this the operating this brackets, your square brackets. Once you put anything inside here, it recognizes what you want to do once, whether it is an int or an apple or an orange. But can you have different kind of data sets, other type of data type in a list? Like you want to have name like this. This is a list that has both integers and string. So you just have to represent whatever in that list you are trying to put properly. Because this is a string, I have to represent them in a quote. So if I remove the quotes, it gives me an error because that is definitely a string. All right, so this is one aspect, and then we have map. Now, because of time, I'm going to show you something. We're going to do a little thing in this docs here and how to implement this kind of thing in coding. Now, supposing you want to do You want to print a large set of thing. I have here, my name is name Williams, age this, amount this, and I have to add on another thing. Let's say I want to add uh, occupation. Occupation is definitely going to be, let's say profession rather. It's going to be a string, and let's go with software. Okay, Flutter engineer, and then years of experience. Years of experience is going to be could be double, but it's advisable to use double because sometimes you want to say 4 years and 5 months or 6 years and 3 months. It's best represented in double. So experience. Experience, I could use 4.5. All right. So, and then if I want to do something like, say, print, I am 24 years old and I am a Flutter developer with, all right, so or probably this person want to say, okay, mechanical engineer, with this experience. Now, this person has written this, and this is what we call static representation. And if I run this, it's going to be static. But when you're building an app, you don't need a static app because once there are thousands of users that are going to be registered on your app or your software. Those thousands of users have different name, different occupation, and they are going to be keying several things upon registration. And they are going to be getting things like welcome, Williams, to this and that. Your account balance is this. You don't need to make this thing static. So in order not to make it static, I'm going to remove this Tracy and I'm going to represent the variable, this variable name here with $sign and then name. And then I'm going to come to this 24 years old and I'm going to represent $age. And I'm this mechanical engineer, I'm going to remove it and I'm going to represent it with profession. And this year, I'm going to represent it with experience. Now, so with this now, let me remove other kind of print there so that the distraction will be less. All right, so with this now, it's going to, whatever I pass in here, whatever is stored in this name could be an array in the database. Whatever is stored in the name is going to appear on this console. So when I run this, you will see my name is Williams, where this name is. I am 18 years old, where this age is, and I'm a Flutter engineer with 4.5 years of experience. So if I change this here to Grace, and then I run it, it's going to change to Grace. If I change it to Musa, it's definitely going to change to Musa. So imagine when you have an array of names at the database. So whenever any person logs in, it goes and map that person's data at the database and bring out that person's information. Whatever the person's name is, it maps it and then presents it here. And whatever the person's age is, it presents it here. So even if the person is 50 years old and the person is running this on the software is going to be represented here automatically. So that is that for variables. And for now, I'm going to be stopping here for variables and then move over to the next thing, which is function on our presentation, functions in that. All right, so the next functions in that, let's get over it. I'm going to be cleaning this. Now, what are functions? And where are functions required? Now you could see I stated here that function in that a block of code performing specific tasks. Now, for instance, you use functions to create calculations. Now, supposing somebody is trying to take a loan, you are building a loan software, and you want to credit or debit the person. You have code names, functions that you use to do those things. These are set of uh, block of codes that you give command and you say, if Bola does this and this, call this function, it debits it, or call that function, it credits it. So that is the work of function, block of codes. Now let's see how this block of codes work. Now in function, we have normal function, and then we have the return type function. And in the return type function, we have the one that we use the normal return, and then we have the arrow function. All right, so let me just state it here. Functions. Number one, we have the normal function. And number two, we have the return type, return function. All right, so let's go over to the normal one. So for normal function, we have things like, let's say, I have void main. This is already a void main. Okay, I'm going to go out from this void main. Outside of this void main, which is a function on its own, I'm going to create a function and say void add two numbers. And inside of this function, this is the function now. This add two numbers is a function. So that function, we are going to build a block of code, simple block of code inside of this function that is going to carry out a simple task. And that simple task, it will be to add two numbers. Now, supposing I have int number 1 equals 10 and int number 2 equals 23, and then I have int let me say sum equals num1 plus num2. So I'm going to print this sum. If I print this sum, it's going to show here, down here. But before I print this sum, if I run it, there will be no action. It's empty, exited. Now I have to carry this, I have to call this function somewhere. And where I have to call this function is inside of this void main. Now, if I call this function here, add two function. Once the code is being run, it runs through this void main. In Flutter or that language, void main is very important because every of the processes pass through the void main before getting to other things. So once I run this, so it gives me 33. 10 plus 3 gives me 33. So this is one way to represent it. I believe once you come into the Generis Academy, there are so many things we are going to explain to you about functions. Very interesting way that uh, you will enjoy it more. So this is it. If I want to use the return function, rather than using print here, I'm going to say return. Return sum. I'm returning this sum here. And now for me to do that, I can do something like this. Let's say int uh let's say I have num1, num2, okay. So now I've indicated that this function is an integer. So I'm going to come here. This is crying now? It's giving me an error. Why is that? The error reads two position arguments expected in add two numbers, but zero found. What are those two numbers? This num1 and num2 are what is expected. So I'll give this num1 and I give this num2. So whatever I pass in here, if I pass in 4 and 5, and then I run it, it's going to give me 9. All right, so what is the problem? All right, so let's see. All right, so it returns 9 for me. All right, so that is that. I'm going to head over to operators and operators now. In operators, we have arithmetic operators and arithmetic operators. We have the relations operators. We have the AND operator and the OR operators. So operators in that. Please, if you have any question, just write them down. At the end of this session, I'm going to look into that. So number one of those is arithmetic operator, and this is how arithmetic operators are. When you have an int a equals 10, int b equals 5, and then you could do this whole thing here. Now this here is for addition. This here is for subtraction. This here is for multiplication. This here is for division. This here is modulus. Modulus. We call this floor division. All right, so now if I run this, it's going to give me, now the first print, a plus b, because we allocated a to 10 and b to 5. A plus b is 15, a minus b is 5, a times b is 50, a times b, a divided by b is 10. The modulus of 10 by 5 is, that is 10 divided by 5. what is the remainder? It's 0 is the remainder. That is what modulus is. And the floor division is 2. Floor division is when you are trying to cancel any, you are trying to approximate it no matter what. It won't give you, it won't, maybe you are creating a software and you don't want it to arrive at a double, that is a rational number, you use the floor division. So that is that about operators in arithmetic operator. So the next thing we are going to look at is relations. Relations in that. Relations. So what are these relations? We have the equal to, uh, when we have things like this, equal to, not equal to, less than, greater than, uh, less than or equal to, and we have the greater than or equal to. These are things you could use in relations operator. So when you want to say if 2 is greater equal to, uh, check if 2 is equal to, this other number, a is equal to b, you use this operator here. If it is not equal, if you want to check if something is not equal to, you use this here, and so on. So the next one, which is the or operator and an operator, which is actually called logical operator, is we use this for and this for or, and probably this for not. So in what we are going to do, the little app I want to show us, I'm going to hurry right now. We are going to see this thing in play in it. All right, so that's that for operators in that. So loops, when we talk about loops in that, we are talking about loops in that. Loops in that, we are talking about the while loop, the while loop, the while loop. We have the do while loop. We have the for loop. We have the for in loop. Yeah, these are the kind of loops we have currently, and then we have for each loop. So I'm just going to do one of these loop for us. Let me just think of something I'm going to do for this while loop for us using the while loop. Okay, for let's say we have something like y we've not given this we've not defined this. It's undefined, so we define it now. It's an integer, definitely. So we say number equals 10. So or let's, because we are going to be starting from 0, let's say it's from 0. Okay, so y number is greater than 10. I want to do number increment, increase this number, and print the number. So let's run it and see. So you see that 1, 2, 3, so 4, and so on to 10. Now, if I change this to 20, okay, to 30, and then I run it, it goes in there and it does the while loop. You see that? Let me, so you could see this now. 1 all through to 30. All right, so that is that for the while loop. And the same thing can be said for the do while loop. And the same thing can be said for the for loop. Okay, for for loop, you could see something like very simple. Sometimes you see some scrambles like this. Let's say for, you see something like for var, uh, for var I equals 0 and I is let's say less than 10 and I is increasing. Okay, sorry, this is supposed to be a semicolon. And I is increasing. We have this here print I. So it's just like iterating, trying to iterate, goes through it. So once I run this, I'm going to comment this. So you see that 0 to 9, the for loop. Now, what if we are decreasing? Let's see what we are going to get. Wow. It keeps reading, it's going. Now, the reason why it keeps going is because it is definitely less than 10. So I'm going to put a restriction here, less than minus 10. And I'm going to stop that. Okay. All right, so it's definitely less than 10, so it's not going to give us anything. So let's say it's let's say we have minus a negative 10, and then we have just this 10 here. All right, keeps decreasing and decreasing. So to decrease, you have this here, negative here for decreasing, and then you use addition for increasing. So stop this. All right. So that is that for loop. So we are done with this. Now I'm going to go into showing us how to do this, to create this. Uh, before I continue, I don't know if I could open the floor for any question for now. Just any little question, like 1 minute. Any question?
I have a question, William.
All right.
The software that you're using, Visual Studio,
Yes.
can one get software that is free in order to be able to run this kind of codes?
All right. So Visual Studio is actually free IDE. You can get it online and then install on the system. But notwithstanding, considering this studiousness of um considering the studiousness of these uh installing and then setting up some things, you could use, anybody can use what we call the dat console, the dat pad. Let me show you that. So this is that pad. It's an online, you could use it, it's an online tool for IDE for running Flutter. So you could see something like this.
Okay,
So this is it.
so we don't have to install anything to use this.
Okay, the challenge with this is that you could only they could only use, anyone who wants to use this can only use it for data structure, cannot use it for visualization. When the person wants to visualize what is doing, like on the emulator. Another thing the person could use to visualize uh the emulator is called I'm trying to get that Flutter online IDE. Flutter Lab, Flutter Lab. Let's go. Let me show you that. Flutter Lab. Okay. Now, Flutter Lab is an online way of doing this. You get started. You can sign in, get started, and then you choose what you really want to do on it. Yeah, you have something like this, and you could choose an emulator. So there's somewhere here you could choose the emulator, like make the emulator come up. Trying to find where that emulator is. Okay. All right. So this is it. Okay, I have to sign in. Let me see that I can sign in. Okay, but if the person explore this, you could use this. The emulator will show. The emulator looks like this, something like this, and you could use it to run whatever you want to run online. It's called the
Okay.
Float Lab.
So you'll be taking the students through all of this to let them know, the kind of alternatives that they have.
Okay. All right. So I don't know if there's more question. Hello. Can I continue?
Yes, I'll say continue. There doesn't seem to be any more questions. I mean, and if anybody wants to ask a question, just raise your hand and we'll unmute you. Just raise your hand.
So very quickly, I'm going to be creating, like I said, this particular kind of game now for us to see how it works. And okay, let me. All right. So To do that, I'm going to open a new file or a new window. I'm going to open a new window, and in this new window, I'm going to create a new Flutter project. Just follow the how I'm doing it. Click on command palette and then Flutter new project application. Going to be here. And then the name of the application will be game, simple game. You can give it any name. You just call it game. All right. So you allow it to run this, it's creating the template for it, and it's coming up. So this is the template. Uh, this is the template for. It's not like just a simple template that will override. But notwithstanding, as it's doing that, I want to show you. Now you see, you have, as you're building your code, everything is summing up here in the Android for the Android iOS, I mean OS. And then for iOS, it's summing up here. That is the cross-platform we're talking about. And then for Linux, and then for Mac, and then for Windows. So this is what makes it a cross-platform. With this, once we are writing whatever code we are writing here, it's going to be compatible for both the Android, iOS, and every other thing. Okay, so I'm going to choose device. I'm going to choose device. So let me minimize this a little bit. So no device. I'm going to choose this. I already have an emulator. So I've chosen it, and it's going to be written here. And the next thing I'm going to do is to run my code. So it's saying Flutter launch. Now, as it's doing this Flutter launch, it's going to take a little bit time because uh, it's a new code base, and it's trying to run on this emulator. This is called emulator, and it's just a representation of your uh, mobile device. There are other ways you could use this. If you don't want to use an emulator, you could use your phone using what we call the uh, visor. You could use to represent your phone. Let's give this just a few seconds to come up. So while this is going on, I will show you how the visor work. Let me connect. What you do is you connect your phone with a USB. First of all, you have to make sure that your phone is in what we call the developer's mode. Once you set your phone in the developer's mode, you could carry out this action with your phone. So this is the visor. Okay, so this is the visor. And I'm going to add, right now, it's only seeing this emulator. It can mimic this emulator, but I don't want it to mimic the emulator. I want it to mimic my phone. So I'm going to connect with my USB, my Android. So now it could see my Infinix. And when I click on this, it brings out my phone. So you could choose to use your phone instead of the emulator. Some people prefer to use their phone. Some prefer to use their emulator. Depend on what you really want. So you could control your phone from here and do whatever you want to do from here with your phone. All right, so the initial code, this is what we call the template. Anytime you want to run your Flutter initially, you have this template. All right, so here is it. So this is the template. Um, this my app states, and I'm going to remove most of the things here since I'm not going to be using them. I'm going to remove things like this. So what you do is you just have to remove what you don't need inside of this. All right, so and then this is the home page. I don't need this. I'm going to remove it. So inside here, I'm going to call debug show banner, and I'm going to get it to false. And then I'm going to have home container. So this is how you build it. Remember, this is the main thing that runs, the void main. And then after the void main, it goes through the app. And this is the app. The app goes through and then tries to go, which is the home container. Now, if I rerun this, the entire thing will be black. So I'm going to create a folder here. My emulator is black, showing that there's nothing there, called home. And home dot that. So I'm going to replace this with scaffold. Then I'm going to carry this and put there and import it. So it's now white because it's a scaffold. So I'm quickly going to do this now. And I'm going to do app bar. App bar is going to have This is what we call widgets. I'm just speeding a little bit because of time. It's called widgets. We have the two bar height. I want to specify the height to be 80. And then the flexible space, we're going to use a container inside of that flexible space. I'm going to use decoration. I'm going to decorate it to be with post decoration. Now, there's something I really want to show us, and that is what we call the pub dev. Pub.dev. This pub.dev is where we get packages, like I told you, those packages that are open source, Flutter graduates. Color. I want to get something like that has to do with gradient color. I'm going to pick it. I copy it like this, very simple. I come back to my code, go to my pub spec yarn, under my Cupertino icons, I'll paste it, and then I'll give a little command called flutter pub get. So with this now, it fetches it, and now I can do whatever decoration I want to do here, which is called gradient, linear gradient. In that linear gradient, I have colors. Let's use Alchemist Lab that came first. All right. So I'm going to Control X, and you see that the hot reload very fast, and you're seeing what you're doing. And this is what is it here. And before that, I'm going to put the title after this flexible top. I'm going to put title. I'm going to give the title, say text, because the text is going to be inside of a string. That string is tic tac toe, and that tic tac toe, I'm going to style it. Okay, before I style it, let me run it. It's really not looking nice here. So I'm going to go over to this point. I need Google Fonts. Then I'll go back to this, and under this, I'm going to place this. Come back here, run the same code, flutter pub get. So I'm going to watch this run. Once it completes running, okay, fine, that's complete running. I'll come back to this point, and I'll say style. It's still running. Why is it doing that? Let me see if I can write this. Style. I'm going to have Google Fonts. Google Fonts dot. Let's use something that is playful. Let's say the okay. I have to import this.
William,
Yes, sir.
I think I'm going to have to stop you because of time.
All right.
We get the general idea of what you're doing, and it's very interesting. I mean, I wish you could go on and on and on and on, because I am myself enjoying it, and I'm pretty sure that other people are enjoying it. But we're almost at 8:30 now. In fact, we're at 8:30.
All right.
So if you don't mind, I will stop you. If we have to organize another, class, we will do so. Another free class, we will do so. But we have to wind up now. So I would say thank you, thank you, thank you very much for that presentation. I'm pretty sure that everybody would agree with me that that's quite insightful as to what you can do. And I can assure you that attending this class, by the end of the class, or rather by the end of the course, you will definitely be able to do what William has done on this screen or is doing on this screen. Um, when we organize another class, another master class, we would let you know if you still want to have a look at it, at more demonstrations. But like I said, we have to wind up now. Thank you very much, everybody, for uh, paying attention to what William was doing. Does anybody have any question before I go on? If you have a question, just raise up your hands and we will unmute you. Okay. No questions. Okay. All right. Can everybody see my screen? All
Yeah, I
right.
can see a screen. I can see.
Okay, all right. Okay, so the start date for this course, it's a tentative date, is the 27th of April, which is a weekend. We will, if you're interested, we will get details about the course over to you. You can see on your screen the contact numbers that you can call to for any other inquiries that you may have or any other questions that you may have about this course. Now, let's go to the cost of the course. Now, for everybody that has attended today, we're giving you 25% off the cost of the course. But 25, this discount would only last for 48 hours. If you signify your interest and you make a payment within the next 48 hours, we will take 25% off the normal cost of the course. The normal fee for the course in Naira is 180,000 Naira. But if you are going to do your registration immediately within 48 hours, or you let us know that you're ready to go on within 48 hours, we will discount it to 135,000 for you. So that's taking 45,000 off your fees. If you're in the United Kingdom, the normal fee is £250, and the discounted fee is 190. If you are in any other part of the world, the normal fee is $300, and the discounted fee is 225. Now, you will agree with me that with the quality of the instructor that you're getting and the in-depth knowledge that you'll be going away with, Remember, this course starts you from the basic. You don't have to know anything about programming before you know, go into this course. And like I said, I can assure you by the end of the course, you will, you know, you will be a mobile app developer. So yeah, can we get the audio recording and the slides? Yes, we can get the audio recording. Well, we can get the YouTube recording. Unfortunately, we did not. There was a technical hitch. We didn't start from the beginning, but most of the important parts we caught, and it will be on our YouTube channel from tomorrow, which I would, well, which you can actually go to. It's YouTube/Generis Academy. It will be on our YouTube channel from tomorrow, so you can get it from YouTube. So like I said, 25% off if you register within the next 48 hours. Those are our contact numbers. You can call Damilola, Helen, or Victoria if you're in Nigeria. You can call those numbers in the United Kingdom and the rest of the world. And if you want to connect with us, like I said earlier, on social media, if you connect with us on social media, you would, our followers get a further 5% discount off. Wow. So is there any other questions? Anybody have any questions? Good. If you don't have any other questions, we have to wrap up now. Like I said, we're going to see if we can put together another masterclass. We will see if we can persuade William to give his time to come and engage us again in another masterclass. By the way, William will be your instructor on this course. But you know, as you may well know, somebody that's skilled would not have that much time, free time. So we will find a way to get some of his free time and bring him back for another master class. So thank you very much for attending. And if you have any questions, please contact us on the numbers on your screen, and we'll wait to hear from you. Thank you, everybody, and take care and good night.
Good night.